Welcome to Numb Bills Fan Podcast number 143. It's your host, David Palermo, and on the left of me is Jeff Knight. You can find him on Twitter, Instagram, at Full Circle Attack. You can find me everywhere at Numb Bills Fan. NumbBillsFan.com also has all previous episodes and a little player if you don't already subscribe wherever you find your podcasts. Also, we're up on GrandstandSportsNetwork.com in a time slot, and make sure you check their schedule to catch us there. And if you're listening through Grandstand Sports Network, thank you so much. And also, check out their other podcasts on the network. Rockpile Report, my favorite, is Locked On Bills, great sports franchise of podcasts, and also brought to you by Punch Drunk Sports Podcast Network and PunchDrunkSports.com. Punch Drunk Sports is three comedians who have a podcast, and it's pretty rad. If you're a little sensitive to comedians, well, maybe not listen to it. We just had Jason Tebow from Punch Drunk Sports and Red Zone Channel on DirecTV, who is also a LA stand-up comic and has Return of the Red State coming out soon. Also, Ari Shaffir has a special Double Negative up on Netflix. And lastly, Sam Tripoli has another album called The Diabolical up on iTunes, and a new podcast called Tinfoil Hat Podcast, and pretty much share some thoughts on what people would call conspiracy theories, or at least just has a discussion. So check those out. And the Bills right now, just going to dive into this. Bills just beat the Falcons and stayed in the lead. I felt like the whole time, except for when the Falcons hit the first field goal. And there was no points in the first quarter, which was pretty crazy. So watch the game with Jeff here. Jeff, if you want to roll, then we'll just pick the game apart.
All right, yeah, you picked me up and we went to little Double D's and got some donuts and some coffee. We went to Dean's house. Shout out to Dean with a nice purchase on the house. We
Walworth. Rip on Dean as being drunk D, but Dean has his shit more together than me by far.
Yeah.
So Drunk Dean is very well disciplined.
And thanks for the hospitality, Dean. Staff with a powerful chili.
Very powerful
Good
chili.
seeing Rich.
Dean's parents around. Rich in the house. So, what'd you get for donuts?
Well, we split a dozen. Half dozen. I got a fritter. Can't go wrong with fritter. And then 2 Boston creams, but I feel like it was called Boston Screams because of the Halloween.
Did you even eat them? Because I took the box in.
Dog, I ate them on the way home.
Okay, because I got 2 apple spice, and we both shared the parallel thought of an apple fritter. I thought Jeff was going to roll all apple with me. So we show up to Dean's house. Drunk Dean is not drunk, talking really sharp, and really throwing me for a loop all game. Like, who am I talking to right now? And, I guess he's a great host for sacrificing drinking for that.
Well, he was also hungover, Dean, so I think that's why he didn't go as hard in pain as he normally does.
Yeah, I mean, Dean had a long night. Our buddy Paul, who's a regular listener, and we had him call in. Paul the boss, self-proclaimed the boss. He got married to Beth, and so congrats on them. And I'm sure they are enjoying the Bills' victory as well. So 3 points. Bills end up coming back with the Jordan Matthews touchdown, 9 yards. Seemed like Tyler Taylor just got the ball down the field pretty handily. Charles Clay just had a coming out party, finally doing what everybody thought he could do. What are your thoughts on Charles Clay, Jeff Knight?
Well, Charles Clay, man, people are hating on Tyrod for not throwing the deep ball. Tyrod threw the deep ball to Charles Clay. Tyrod threw the deep ball over the middle of Charles Clay. Charles Clay had a great game. Ended up going for over 100 yards. I picked him on DraftKings today. I don't think I won, but it wasn't his fault.
Well, I mean, you still got... Did you only do the 1 o'clock games? You still okay. So Charles Clay had 5 receptions for 112 yards. He had a monster reception, I believe, for 44 yards. We're seeing Tyrod Taylor with this play action, stuff I saw at camp, finally coming to fruition here. And, hey, credit to Coach McDermott for getting schemes around these players to work, bringing in his players. E.J. Gaines was looking solid today before he had a little injury. Forgot what it was. We'll get back to you on that. But he had a little bit of an injury towards later in the game. But, I mean, he's right there. And honestly, I'm thinking about it. Man, I would love to have Sammy. Talked about the other week how having Sammy takes the defense off the run game, but the play action season negate, to buy the Bills a little bit of time in the pass game. And I'll say, I will take a solid defense over a Sammy Watkins. If EJ Gaines is a big reason that the defense is better, I'll take it. I don't know, but he's playing solid. So your thoughts on
EJ Gaines and Sammy? Well, our secondary is much, I think it's definitely improved from last year. Sammy's great, but if we're just a run-heavy offense, and I love him, but he gets hurt a lot, so he's not always on the field. So I like these trades. We got picks, and we have a very solid cornerback, and then we saw a solid receiver today after he got his first touchdown of the year, I believe.
Yeah, Trey White with that. The refs overall are very inconsistent, which we'll dive into later. But the touchdown, like you're saying, for Trey White to have that awareness level to run the ball back.
Yeah, he's rookie of the year right now, I think, for defense.
He's gotta be. He is absolutely balling out.
He's a solid tackler too. Now he forces a turnover and he wraps the guys up, and deflects passes and gets some interceptions.
So, you brought up the Bills secondary, and Micah Hyde has 2 interceptions today. Man, and one, he had control with the ball that got reviewed, and the refs again went in favor of the Bills, and the ball dragged across the turf, but the ball didn't totally move too much, I guess. So you can have the ball touch the turf as long as your hands are wrapped around the ball, and then the ball doesn't do too much movement, I guess. That shouldn't be this hard, right?
Well, the refs, I don't think I've ever seen a game where there's so many calls that could have gone either way. The refs, favor some in favor of the Bills, and they also had a few favor, in favor for the Falcons. So it kind of may have evened out a little bit.
So, Donald Jones called it on the John Murphy show. Micah Hyde, we haven't even seen him have his coming out party. We're talking Poyer. Wait till Micah Hyde turns it up. Well, these guys, these cornerbacks, clearly know where the ball is. You got Trey White with interception this year or more. You got EJ Gaines with a pick. You got Poyer with a couple picks. You got Micah Hyde with a couple picks. This secondary is for real. A little bit of confusion on the touchdown forgot who that was to. I am so bad right now. It looked like Preston Brown miscommunicated with Micah Hyde. Something went on communication-wise on the touchdown pass from Matt Ryan, which is the Bills' first touchdown pass thrown against them. So kind of disappointed to see not necessarily a miscommunication for sure. It was just a 3-yard pass, to Justin Hardy, and it was a heartbreaker, but hey, Bills got over it. I'm not really worried about it. It's a first passing touchdown this year, and occasionally you're going to have something's going to happen. And Matt Ryan, he found the hole in the defense. And that's it.
He's one of the best quarterbacks in the game. It's going to happen,
Yeah, and not for nothing, fourth quarter, Bills are on the ropes, 20-17 after Hauschka, gets the 3 points. From a 56-yard field goal, are you kidding? After 5 plays, 37 yards. Come on, Hauschka's money.
Dude, Hauschka is nasty. I was a little skeptical at first just because the guy from work, I'm one of the managers, he was a Seahawks fan. He was actually excited for Hauschka to go because I guess he missed a couple extra points last year. And I thought he was legit. He had a corduroy Seahawks hat. If you got a corduroy hat, you think he'd be a fan for a long time. But, Hauschka's earned his money. Now I'm thinking he just bought that shit on eBay. And it's been a fan, ever since, he stopped liking the Carolina Panthers after the home years or something.
I knew one legitimate Seahawks fan my whole life growing up, and it was this kid on a school bus in elementary school, and I forgot his name because that's how important he is. He's the only one who was a Seahawks fan, and that was 20-something years ago. And sports are just different. Whoever's winning, you're hopping on board, and it makes me sick when I see Brady jerseys here. It's like...
Dude, I saw a fucking Seahawks 12-man jersey last year. Some dude came to my house and watched watched the game, and it wasn't even the Bills Seahawks game. You just came with a Seahawks shirt, the 12th man. Who buys that shit?
I don't know.
You're a herb if you buy that shit.
Do you not know where the 12th man is? It's in Buffalo.
Yeah. You guys are loud because your stadium holds in sound. You ain't shit. You're a bunch of fake fans.
That said, they hold in a lot of sound. Steven Hauschka was not phased and knocked in his third field goal, and it was a 55-yard field goal for the day. And
on the road. Huge.
Yeah, in a loud stadium. We had Jason Tebow from Punch Drunk Sports come on saying that, hey, I think the Bills are going to see all the glitz and the land, and the stadium's going to overwhelm them. Well, the Bills pulled no punches. They came out. And I'll tell you, if you look at the stat line, it doesn't look huge, okay? But what the Bills did, though, is they controlled the game. They made the Falcons work. And they have Julio Jones go out and Sanu go out. You're looking at it like, okay, well, this is a good game for the Bills because how are the Falcons going to come back? Now you've just made the Falcons one-dimensional. Now they have to run the rock. So what did the Falcons start doing? The Falcons started throwing a lot of screens, and that was eating up the Bills. But you know what? Not for nothing. It's only going to work for so long, and the Bills kept them in check. I thought going for that big field goal was huge. I will not rip on a field goal that was at the 1 yard line or after the penalty on the 6 yard line. I'm not going to rip on that. Okay, the Bills came out going into the fourth quarter with an 11-minute and 20-second drive. I mean, that is absolutely unreal. And that's something I've always wondered with the Bills is how come these teams know how to just suck the life out of the clock. And the Bills can't do it, But here they go, 19 plays, 82 yards, 11 minutes and 20 seconds for a 24-yard field goal. I'm not complaining, man. I'm not complaining. It's just it's not worth crying about. Steven Hauschka, house money. Pretty stoked. What do you think about the way the Bills played overall? Do you think it's were you pretty impressed? Because I thought they played well on all phases, like pretty even.
Yeah, dude, I really like we managed the game really well. Tyrod, again, no turnovers. He really shouldn't have any turnovers this year, except the one interception he had was a tip ball. Tyrod, he threw for $180, but who cares when we're running the 4 yards to carry? 4 yards every 3 plays is a first down. So we got the W. So that's all that really matters. Tyrod, I think, did a great job. Threw the ball well deep. And then threw the ball down the middle. So, overall, great win for everybody. Zay Jones kind of hit one big catch, a few drops, but he's trying to redeem himself.
All right, I'd love to dive into Zay Jones. So, Zay Jones, I am not sure the exact amount of drops, but he had at least 2, and I thought a couple other balls that were very catchable, and at the same time, they're not showing the replay for us every play, and I thought that one of the balls was pretty good coverage going towards the middle of the field. And I was getting nervous with Zay Jones. How about you?
One of the drops I was outside for, so I could only hear it on the radio. But it would have been a good. I remember one that he tried to the ground caused the ball to be incomplete, but it would have been a good a hard catch to make. Then again, he's in the NFL. He's got to start making these. I'm thinking it's just kind of rookie mistakes. I think in time he's going to win a game for us. There's no reason we're winning games. There's no reason to get down on this kid yet.
I tweeted during the game that you got to sit him for a little bit, and that was in the second quarter. So a few minutes ago, and the reason is, for me, really, if it's the third quarter, maybe you enforce sitting him. But I guess going into halftime, it wasn't a big deal to not sit him because you can get that few minutes for him to breathe. And I'm worried about pressure because sometimes, I don't know if anybody's ever done anything where you're doing repetitions and you're trying to get better or something. Sometimes you just plateau and you're really just in your head. And I don't want Zay Jones to get lost in his head. The last thing you want a player to do is lose their confidence. And think about how many players that we've seen flash and then the teams lose. Say they went on IR early in the season. There's a coaching change. They get hurt the next year, or they don't really play too well because there's a coaching change, and the following year, and it's like the players never come to fruition.
Yeah, especially with this fan base, where if you make one mistake, because we haven't been to the playoffs in 17 years, they get run out of town. Yeah, I mean, so I don't disagree with you. So it's like, can't crush them. Got to support them, but I would have been fine if they pulled them for a little bit. Maybe even for the rest of the game. But, I mean, you're going down receivers. I really think you can't go wrong with him catching a pass later in the game, building up that confidence. And that's all I care about is confidence with Zay Jones. I don't want him in his head. So keep him. Somehow you got to keep encouraging him. Keep giving him the ball. Give him an opportunity. But if they benched him, I would not have had a problem. You kind of wonder what Bill Belichick would do in that situation. No matter what he would do, it would be transferred into praise from the four-letter networks. And, oh, by the way, the Patriots lost against Carolina. Yeah. So that's a big win. Patriots lose against Carolina. The Bills lost against Carolina. Were the Patriots home?
Honestly, do not remember.
I don't either.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they're in Carolina. So the way I see things is this. The Bills are atop of the AFC East. They're 3-1. The Patriots are 2-2. Do not sleep on the Patriots. That said, they squeezed out a victory against the Texans at home that they barely squeezed away. That also said, when the Patriots go, 14-2 or 12-4 or whatever it is to win the division that they usually do, we don't go back and go, well, they won a close one here. But as a Bills fan, when the Bills pull out a close one, sometimes we're like, you can't win that way. No, you can win that way. That's sports. That's sports. The ball has bounced the Bills' way lately. And with the NFL officiating, you don't know what you're going to get. Luckily for the Bills, the ball has been bouncing their way too. If you're looking for Tyrod Taylor to have a breakout game today and go absolutely wild on the stat sheet, this was not your game today. He went 12 for 20, 182 yards, 1 touchdown. I'm not complaining. You know why? Because Tyrod Taylor was very even, very good off the play action. Again, adding a few drops in there, and you're set. So I can't complain. I thought the Bills played a very balanced game, and when the Bills needed to take some time off the clock, for the most part, they did. So it's all hodgepodge. The Bills are on the right side of it. They're doing the right thing, and I got to give credit to Coach McDermott for getting these players in position to believe in themselves and follow suit across the board, because all 3 levels of the game, minus the big kick return for, the Falcons there, getting nervous. Thought he was going to take it to the house, at the end, it's squeaking. But, hey, the team played good. They played even. You don't want to see a game where your quarterback has to take over. You want to see a game where you could take time off the clock. You can chip away. And this Bills defense just suffocates teams. I mean, suffocates teams. And then you get the Bills coming out with an 11-minute, 20-second drive in the second half. That's almost a full quarter of possession in one drive. Taking the air right out of the ball. You can't add more clock. But what you can do is make offenses more impatient than they already are, get them jittery. You don't have Julio Jones. You don't have Sanu. Who's he going to throw it to? His slot receiver deep? And that's what Matt Ryan tried to do. It's not happening. It's not happening. Pro tip, use the Bills and Madden. They get a lot of interceptions. You heard it here first. I mean, what are you seeing out of this, Jeff? Do you have anything to add to what I just rambled about, which is nothing?
I mean, it's still early. I don't want to get my hopes up, but I'm liking where we're going so far. Again, our running game, I feel like improved from last week. Our passing game was solid. Tyrod is improving at each game, never making any turnovers. I know some people might say, "Oh, we only won it because of Julio Jones going out," but you know what? Injuries are part of the game. The last year, the moron years, Darius went out. We lost to the Raiders because of him because they could not run on us at all. And this one, Darius was a beast. And as soon as he comes out, Latavius Murray has a huge day, and we end up missing the playoffs. So I don't care. Injuries happen. They sometimes they're in our favor, sometimes they're in the opponent's team's favor.
I frankly don't give a shit if the refs give the Bills every game this season to win. I don't care. I really don't care. I'm so sick of the negativity. I'm so sick of thinking that wins aren't good enough. Wins are fucking wins. At the end of the year, you look at wins, you look at losses, and no matter how you try to chalk up the team on how good each player is, or coach isn't, at the end of the year, it comes down to wins and losses, and I don't care how that happens. Would you agree?
Yeah, dude. And again, it's like Tyrod. I think he plays super well, and then there's times where like Matt Ryan misses, throws the ball over the other, the wrong shoulder or whatever. If that was Tyrod in the Bills stadium, people would be calling for Peterman. You gotta leave this guy alone. He's winning the games. We're 3-1. Could have been could be 4-0, but he's earned his keep.
Exactly, and here's the main theme for the season. We are a quarter way through the season. The Bills are 3-1. They're on top of the AFC East. The Dolphins got shut out, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So here's the deal: is Jeff clearly hates most Bills fans. That's the worst. They are the worst fan base in the world because they're delusional. Most Bills fans that we hear from are delusional. Now that said, I'm sure there's the other 70% of the fan base. Actually, I would say about 40% of the fan base that's more objective.
Yeah, but 30% of the reason we haven't made the playoffs is they run players and coaches out of town.
Because don't you know that these fans have seen it before, and they have a short leash, but they don't understand that you need to build something. I never thought that now I don't know hockey, but I'm kind of shocked that Billsman's already gone. You know what I mean? It's like we talk about these 5-year plans for Buffalo sports team.
Billsman,
I don't know hockey that well. So
he's a garbage coach, man. He was with the Penguins with the two best players in the league, and he only wins one cup. After he that wasn't even a full season with him. The other guy got fired. He comes in and wins a cup, and then he's garbage. Right. His team underachieved ever since then.
So you think he was more like a lightning in a bottle kind of coach?
Yeah, he just got lucky. They needed a little shake up. And then they won the cup, and then the Penguins were garbage after that. So then the Bills, and again, the Sabres fans are dumb too. They get super stoked after every signing. Like Steve Bernier gets signed, he scores a goal in his first game. And they're we're gonna win the cup, and that was the last goal he scored. May have got one more, but countless free agent signings or during the year trades, the Sabres fans think they're gonna go all the way, and they're just garbage. They're probably the biggest joke of the NHL. Let's go Panthers.
I hate you. I bust his balls all the time. How the fuck do you like the Panthers? Don't get him. All right, we'll get you on a hockey podcast. Yeah. We'll get you on another one. Look, I just think that you want to invest and put your cart behind these coaches and support them and support them and support them. And when continuity is preached and we pull the plug, sometimes you don't know what to do. I mean, here. Jeff's a fan favorite of Doug Whaley. We talked that many times. I'm a fan favorite of that too. But maybe it really comes down to, can people work together? And, I mean, you got Doug Marrone winning in Jacksonville, and here I am questioning, man, maybe Doug Marrone did have it right. Maybe Doug Marrone did need some pieces. Maybe because of marketing reasons or whatever the hell, if Russ Brand's running the show, I don't know anything. But I will suspect some things. It's like, the Bills have always been good at getting us in the seat. Well, what do you need to do that? You need players that are marketable.
Well, did Jacksonville win that game today?
I am not sure. That went into overtime and we left.
They may have won 2 in a row, but they're still a bad team.
Look, maybe the Bills aren't that bad. And the thing is the Bills are 3-1 when I want them to be 3-1 because I want them to get that nice victory over the Jets. Okay, a nice litmus test. Let's get the systems in place, and they were dominant. Okay, you go against the Carolina Panthers. Shit's got to get in order. You get exposed. You're going against one of the best defenses in the league, clearly. And somehow they let the Patriots back in the game. I don't know how, but they held out and they won somehow. The Panthers, thank you. And it's a great victory. They had the Bills beat the Panthers. Then you show up and knock out the Broncos. Then you show up and you knock out the Falcons. Now,
knock out the Falcons away.
Yes. Now here's the deal. You got Rick Dennison, knows the personnel, knows tendencies of players in Denver. The Bills offensive coordinator was there, obviously last year. This year you got the Falcons, you got Patrick DeMarco. You got the same bloodline, the same coaching tree.
New offensive coordinator, though, like the team said.
Right, but, I mean, you're keeping the same concepts because you don't want Matt Ryan to have to struggle again. His first year in Shanahan's system, he took a little bit of time. Once he got it, Matt Ryan is kind of dialed in, so they want to build off of what Matt Ryan did well. That's the biggest problem with coaching is you went out, like the Falcons did. They crushed, made it a Super Bowl. Shanahan now has a job. Good for him. And he's running the San Francisco 49ers. So I think you got to build on what you have. Well, conceptually, Rick Dennison already knows that. So are you telling me that him and Sean McDermott, they got all this stuff figured out? Talk to Patrick DeMarco, get the skinny on the offensive lineman. You grill the guy. I'm sure he's going to give up the information willingly, just like Mike Tolbert said about the Carolina Panthers game. Snitches get stitches, and he's getting stitches. Look, I really do think it's a thing a little bit to have some intel on player tendencies, yada, yada, yada. When you're telling me Beasley's going to be out and Upshaw on the Falcons, come on. You can't go wrong here for the Bills. It worked out well. This play action is really masking some things with the offensive line. It's giving Tyrod time. It's getting him so he can see players open. I think the timing of the Bills getting their shit together early in the season for the first quarter of the season, whether it's totally together or not, it doesn't matter. The Bills are good enough right now to go into the Cincinnati Bengals, who have one win this year, and then hit their bye week. And the Bills can really focus in on this one win here and be 4-1. And we're hitting the bye week. We're feeling really pretty, and not for nothing. It feels good. How do you feel right now?
Dude, it's nice. Your week's always so much better if they win. Like, my job can just kick the shit out of me, and I'll still be in a good mood just because the Bills won. So, we're going into Cincinnati. If we can win that one and have a whole week to prepare for the Bucs, and then they had that one in our house, I feel pretty good about the season so far. Our defense is nasty. Our offense is efficient. We're not turning the ball over. So I
can't complain.
Yeah, I'm looking into this year, I thought we had a tough schedule, and if you were to tell me we would be 3-1, after 4 weeks, I'd be shocked. I thought 2-2 would be the best case scenario.
We need the Bills to keep knocking off AFC teams throughout the board. The NFC win is nice, but if you remember back when the Bills played, they had Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz beat every NFC North team that year. There is a thing to that. I mean, if you're a coach and you want a job and the Bills like you and you're playing your former division that you have game planned against over and over again, and there's only so many systems in football. You're not necessarily game planning against the player. You're game planning against the system first. So, we see it with the Bills all the time. Okay, they're going to give Tyrod Taylor X to throw deep. Well, he hasn't thrown it deep all year. We know he can throw it deep. These teams go into these games with certain game plans. I can't get mad at a team if they can't just flip the script and go to game plan B, C, or D. They're not going to necessarily do that. They only have so many plays they can script. They only have so much time on the field. If the players had more time on the field, they could maybe bring more plays to the table. I don't know. I'm not a football coach, but just, spitballing here. So sometimes when everybody's like, oh, just flip the table and do the other thing, they do try, but they can only work with the pieces they have. Jordan Matthews went out with a thumb injury too. So, hopefully the pieces can come back for the Bills and they can keep this momentum rolling. That's really, I think, the end game here.
It was penalty free today? I feel like Richie. No penalties.
Yeah, really. Good job with Richie Incognito.
I feel like it's the first time in a while.
I was getting mad at the Bills for you got Tolbert and he's doing a little too much dancing, and it seems like any suggestion I had in my head or we talked about, the Bills like corrected. I was like, dude, they got to get Tolbert running north-south like a hammer. What'd they do? They ran him like a fucking hammer, dude.
Luckily, he fumbled, but we recovered it.
Look at this Bills awareness is that they're finishing these plays. They are finishing these plays.
Yeah, Dawkins, I think he was the one who recovered.
Lorenzo Alexander comes up with the fumble that was called not a fumble, which is a crock of shit. They were clear. It's like anytime there's a big play for the Bills, I don't want to be every time, but it seems like today, there's a flag. Now, granted, the Bills got a touchdown. Hey, Bills fans, we've been waiting for a break. Take it. But these refs, let's talk about these refs for a second. Can we just watch an objective game? I feel bad for Falcons fans. I feel bad for Bills fans. I am grateful that the Bills are on the winning side of it. But again, here we are. Refs are calling shit that doesn't exist. And I think that if you have a guy in the booth upstairs, I thought the whole thing is, we can ET phone home real quick and take care of this. No. That's not a block in the back.
Yeah.
You know? No. So, thoughts on the rest today? If you're a Falcons fan, what do you feel, Jeff?
I mean, I'm obviously pissed about that touchdown. I'm grateful for that one, it was the ruled one incomplete pass. I don't think the refs were that bad today. I feel like, for the most part, they were really hard calls. But yeah, that block in the back was garbage. They missed some holds, I feel like, but I'm sure Falcons fans will probably say they miss holds on our end too. So I don't think I've seen a game where so many calls could have gone either way. So for what they did, I feel like they called it right on the field, but had a few miscues.
It definitely.
It's nice to go in our favor, like you were saying. Right. It never does.
Awareness level of the team overall. How do you feel about the awareness level? I feel as in definitely mad in terms. Ball drops. Trey White takes it out.
Yeah, dude, he's probably right now. It's got to be rookie of the year for defense. Like he's again. Last time I was
he did get rookie of the month.
Did he? Oh yeah. So. I was saying I really wanted Foster, but Trey White, he fit our system perfectly apparently, and I'm so glad we had this kid. Wraps up tackles, great awareness, gets picks.
Now, keep in mind, too, the Bills were not... They did not have, They didn't really go scot-free with injuries. I mean, Shaq Lawson did not play, and Eddie Yarbrough.
Eddie Yarbrough played great. Holy shit. Dude was blocking passes, making good tackles.
Madden programmers, I know you're listening. Fix it. Get Yarbs up there. Get Poyer up there. Come on, man. Let's be real here. I had Shady McCoy with 3 drops in a game. When's that happen? I understand there's an anomaly, but if it keeps on happening, you're going to hear from me with some screenshots. And don't make me get the whack packs on you. So I'll get the Numb Bills fan Twitterverse on you, which is a whole 4 people. So watch out. You're going to have and those 4 people, there's still room to say shit when you tag them. Any other thoughts on the Bills today? I mean, turnovers are the theme for the Bills' victories, really. Against the Panthers, they didn't have them. This game, they had 3 turnovers. Very balanced offensive performance from run to pass. LaShawn McCoy looked like he was going to break out. It's okay. He's at least getting 4 or 5 yards at a time. And guess what? That might have been a blessing in disguise. I don't want Matt Ryan on the field. To the Bills fans out there, Bill Belichick's game plan of the Super Bowl when he was the defensive coordinator of the Giants against the Bills. Keep Thurman Thomas on the field. Run that clock down. Let him run a freaking million-yard game. Do it. You know what I mean? Take the clock down. That's kind of like what I liked about seeing Julio Jones not out there in Sanu. Now you guys are kind of, okay.
Yeah, it really was similar because you're just giving Coleman on screens and runs. I mean, stat wise, he had a great game.
Right.
But the only stat that I give a shit about is the dub.
I just want to win for the win column. Bills face Cincinnati coming up. We got a bye week after that, and we were back at home, aren't we?
Yeah, against the Bucs. Cincinnati, I feel like that's a winnable. I mean, it's kind of I feel like they're like the Falcons, but with less threats. I mean, Julio Jones and AJ Green, pretty similar. Julio Jones is a little bit better. They have 3 running backs versus the Falcons 2. I would say the Falcons running backs are superior.
One thing I'm looking for is the Bills to come into the Bengals, and I don't think they're going to lay a duck. I don't think this team is immature. The further we get away from a Rex team, the further I can't believe how much of a 180 I've done on Rex Ryan. And
yeah, I was pissed that they fired him at first too. Because I like my thing is you got to give people chances to work it out. But after hearing like Darius complain about him, saying he's letting the guys off easy, I think it was the right move.
I'm thankful for the way things worked out. And Sean McDermott seems to be super intelligent, super aware. I love how involved he is. I love how animated he is on the sidelines. He just, he's not over the top. He's not some shit show out there. He seems to control. This Bills team just feels sharp, and they ain't hanging their head. They're going to come into work, and they're going to work tomorrow. And you got guys that are on the team and have been on the team for a long time. Jerry Hughes already has been on the team for a long time. So I can't wait to see how the Bills look against Cincinnati. It could be an absolute demolishing. But I just hope the players don't take it lightly. And I don't think this is the team to do that. And I have a lot of faith in the Bills moving forward, honestly. I mean, Stephen Hauschka deserves a key to the city. You are absolutely, Stephen, killing it. You have just... the blood in his veins just must be like ice cold. Nothing bothers him. Just nailing field goals in that dome, which was close.
55 plusers. Huge. So house money Hauschka, as Mike Tolbert would say, thank you. So that's it. Find me on Twitter, Numb Bills Fan, Instagram, Facebook. Thank you for subscribing. If you don't, please subscribe on iTunes or wherever you find podcasts. As always, shoot me an email, dave@numbbillsfan.com. And if you don't know, there is a contest going on. You can send me an email of a review. I'd love to get reviews of the podcast out to people to encourage some growth for the podcast. Tell your friends. I'm running a contest. Fortunately or unfortunately for you, you get to sit next to me at a game. Send over screenshots of a review on any of your podcasting sites that you would use. I know iTunes has a review up there. 5-star review is really cool. If not, just please subscribe. Maybe subscribe everywhere. I'll take those in too for the contest as well. If you want to drop me a line, dave@numbbillsfan.com, that'll be great. But tell your friends about the podcast. Subscribe. Get it around. Try to be objective here. Sometimes we ramble. Sometimes we digress. The myriad of guests we have are just... You're going to have guys like Jeff who are sharp, can bust some chops. You have guys like Tim who you can take to your parents' house, and you can take him to church with you, and he's not going to bother anything. And then you got guys like Nick Pop, who's going to just go wild. You got comedians like Jason Tebow, who is, he might be peeing in the sink when you call him. You never know. I'm still jealous. You got to talk to that dude. I've been listening to his podcast, his Punch Drunk, for years now, and yeah, I'm jealous, dog.
I really mean it. At work, I sometimes can't listen to Punch Drunk if I'm doing something unsafe because I might laugh and just fall.
Oh, dude, I'll rip my headphones out because I'm laughing too hard because I don't want to be that guy who's.
Do you work in a cubicle?
Yeah,
in an office.
Well, it's sort of a cubicle. Once we moved office, it's kind of like half a cubicle. And my manager's like right behind me, so he can see my screen. So sometimes he'll just like see me randomly, just like laughing just to myself, but it's really just a podcast. And
so it's a no fluff zone.
Usually, Punch Drunk, Danish O'Neill, Skeptic Tank with Ari Shafir, Rogan. Sometimes not as funny anymore, but
yeah, Rogan's gotten kind of serious. And honestly, I love Rogan. He's biggest influence probably for this podcast, as far as just.
Yeah, but
but I gotta say he's gotten a little polished.
He's got his friend Cameron Haynes on too much.
Dude, I really don't give a fuck about hunting that much.
I mean, I've hunted it twice. Still haven't killed any squirrels, but
I will go hunting with somebody.
I still don't want to listen to the fucking guy talk. I don't care. He runs marathons every day. It's boring.
I like the not running thing. I think it's sweet. I did try rollerblading, so check out the Numb Bills fan Instagram soon. I tried rollerblading, aggressive skating the other day with Mike on Monday, and dude, I looped out so fucking hard. It was like no, Jeff. We don't have gay jokes on this podcast, but that's what I used to call myself. And dude, so fruit booting, I looped out, and I had like this like Liu Kang kick, like Mortal Kombat, just like up in the air like a Ryu, fucking spinning like ridiculous loop out off of like a foot high box. I looped out that I don't know, and I landed right on my left hip and left knee, and my hip is still bruised up underneath. It doesn't look it. I'm really just crying. But my knee, I've been like icing it with my corn pack, and it's been tough, man.
I remember I called one of our gym teachers who used to rollerblade. I called him a fruit booter once when, this is
90s, baby.
Yeah, 90s.
When it was acceptable.
Oh, man, he got mad, and he yelled at me in front of a lot of people. Mr. Ellis, I know you're listening.
Oh, Jeff. That's Jeff Knight. Jeff, where can we find you?
I'm on Twitter, FCA_records. I think the same on Instagram. I don't really post much, mostly cat pictures, but
I think you can change your name if you ever wanted to.
Yeah, I probably should eventually, but I still have that website. If you want to buy records, if you just look at Full Circle Attack and type in Store Envy. If you want some Bills gear, I'm Mr. Orange on eBay. I got some Super Bowl seat cushions from the Cowboys' first Super Bowl and then the Redskins Super Bowl if you want them. Got some training camp coins. Get more hustles up there if you're interested.
Also, Jeff is the guy, I got to give him credit. He puts his money where his mouth is. He put out hardcore bands, and as you know, if anybody knows, losing battle, no money in it. So for him to do that and not play music, he's always had the utmost respect from me. So, it takes a lot to support a music scene. You're putting out 4 digits plus of money up front to slowly trickle it back to hopefully break even and cross your fingers.
Yeah, if you want some street cred, I still got some Full Circle Attack West Side Connection shirts up there.
Oh, shit. Why don't you tell them about your shirt?
The Gangsta the Kill and the Dope Dealer.
You want to put it up on... we'll put a picture up on Numb Bills fan, and you can just give me your sizes.
So, I got all the sizes, I think. Maybe not small, but we got fat guy sizes of the 2X. What I usually rock. We got everything.
Oh, man. Keep in touch, people. Numb Bills fan everywhere. That's Jeff Knight. He's a good dude. Pretty logical. Love him.
See us in 331.
Yeah, really. Row 6 for me.
I'm row, I don't know, like 21 maybe. That's so weird, though. I remember when I first texted you, I'm like, yo, you guys season this again? You're like, yeah. I'm like, what section? You're like, 331. I'm like, oh, shit, me too.
We're going to start doing post-game van shows on the way home, by the way. Post-game van shows. We're going to have...
I wish we had
Facebook Live because everybody's.
Is there
Jeff
video
and
on
I
that?
Yeah, we can do Facebook.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Jeff.
Those drunk Dean pictures are money.
Dean is always asleep. Everybody else is always asleep, and it's just us two talking.
Dean sleeps in the weirdest positions. I cannot
Dude, he exposes that neck to a throat cutting. Like that motherfucker. Like that is not street. What are you doing, dude? Where's your chainmail? Where's the chainmail when you need it?
Oh,
it's almost like I just want to leave like a mushroom print on the side of his throat. But bam! But I'm more submissive. So, anyways, take care. Goodbye.
Later.
Oops, one last thing. Don't forget, hit me up on Numb Bills Fan on Instagram. Email me, David Numb Bills Fan, Facebook Numb Bills Fan. Again, send a screenshot over of a review of the podcast up on iTunes or wherever you find your podcast, especially an iTunes review. And you'll be entered into a drawing to win a ticket to fortunately or unfortunately sit next to me at the Bills game. Also, if you go on the Numb Bills Fan Facebook page, I just shared a link to says fund the Diaz family from Puerto Rico. If you've seen the Numb Bills Fan shirts, there's a great logo on the front of the breast, and Casey Diaz made that. He's a tattooer out of Rochester, New York, at Kamikaze Tattoo in Rochester, New York. So make sure you check him out. Check out his artwork, all that. Get tattooed, good tattoos. He's a good dude. He did the artwork for the shirt, helped the layout. Also, his brother, Corey Diaz, is a good friend. They're big Bills fans. Every year they go to a game with their family. And their dad set up a GoFundMe page to help get the family back. I believe to help get the family back. There's a whole description up here. Read more. Help them out. So any additional funds past the goal will be donated right to the Red Cross. So if you can, please get on my Facebook, at Numb Bills Fan on Facebook. So Numb Bills Fan, Facebook.com, Numb Bills Fan. I'm the worst at this. But if you can, click the link. There's already $100 in there now. And, a few people donated. So check it out. Good people, friends of the podcast, and good friends in the punk hardcore community as well. And they have a message to spread, and they do a lot of good things. So please, if you can, help them out. Also, don't forget, make sure you toss a review up, whatever you want. Send a screenshot over. You'll be entered into a raffle to win a seat next to me at one of the games coming up. And I might even give you an option to pick what game you want to go to. So follow everywhere. Tell your friends and family. And I actually have 3 season tickets. So maybe if somebody makes a good enough pitch, I'll give away 2. So you could have a pair, and I'll just sit in my oddball seat. So don't look at me, Mike. I'm not taking you. Because he wants to go for free. He'll drive and pay for parking, which I pay only $10 at 5555 20A. My boy over there, Randy. All right. Take care. Again, thank you for subscribing to this, and tell your friends everywhere if you like it. Thank you for hanging with me. There's a myriad of guests. Sometimes we have a guest like Tim Avery who's going to come review the Bills game tomorrow right after the game, Bills and Falcons. And, if you see Tim Avery in the title line, you're going to get a cleaner podcast. If you see a comedian, you're going to get a guy pissing in a sink. That's just how it's going to go. Okay? So thank you for listening. I'm your host, David Palermo. Mike's shaking his head. Yeah. All right. Good night. Goodbye. Hope you like the fantasy football advice. And Mike will have a Twitter soon. Or else.